Hi guys, welcome to this brand new video. Here I'm going to talk about one specific question from the UPSC English Literature Optional, and today we're going to talk about a question from A Passage to India by E.M. Forster. This is paper 2 text. My name is Harshit Bharadwaj, as some of you probably know. This is my profile. I did my master's level education from University of Liverpool. I'm an author of a book by HarperCollins India. This is the title of the book on the screen, and I have been teaching English literature optional course at an academy for about a year now. Before I start my lesson on the text today, I would like you to present you this fantastic session that's happening on the 28th of November. As of now, this is going to be a class from Mrs. Rupa Mudgil, who is an IPS officer, Secretary to Government at Karnataka, Home Department, Karnataka. Mrs. Rupali Mudgil would be talking about ethics in governance. So you have an ethics paper in the GS mains. So what better way to understand all about actually from someone who is practicing that aspect in her profession. So Mrs. Mudgil would be talking to you on 28th of November. So if you watch this video in time, or even if you watch this video later and the live session is gone, you can go to an Academy app and find this video and watch the recorded one, I hope. To be able to watch this free live class, you will need to use my code, which is presented in the next slides. So with an Academy, there is a ton and tons of free content that you can access. You just need to apply my code, which is HERSH, and you can access that material. So as I said that Mrs. Mudgil would be talking about this. This session is presented by an Academy educator, Deepika Reddy Magam, and this is happening on 20th of November 2020. So I think it's a great chance for any UPSC aspirant to listen to the experiences of an existing IPS officer. So this session is pretty good session. I think this will help everyone. So once you have this sorted, and yes, don't forget, as I said, to access all these free materials at an Academy app, you'll just need to use this code that is right at the bottom of the screen, HERSH, Harsh. You just need to type this and you'll be able to access all the premium free content at an Academy. So there are tons of material. I can tell you that because as an educator myself, I have created at least 50, 60 special free classes, and which are as good, even better than the premium material. So the free material at an academy is really world class. I'm not saying it because I teach at an academy. I'm saying this because I also create that kind of material, so I know what's the standard of that material. Do check it out. Don't forget to use my code. Now then, so let's talk about what's the question we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about in this series of videos. I will be taking one question from texts. So maybe I'll take 3, 4 questions from every text. Those questions will cover all the primary concepts of every text. So for Passage to India, this is a paper 2 text, as you all know, by E.M. Forster. Normally, when I teach a course, I teach this text as the first text. So this is a primary question. Is A Passage to India an Englishman's perspective of the Indian scenario? This has come in many variations over last 10 years, right? In different languages, different variations of this primary concept. So I'll give you some pointers. I will not spoon feed you, but I'll give you some pointers how to solve this question. It's a 300 word question, which is 20 marker if it comes now. Okay, so whenever I look at any question, and this is what I suggest to all my students, first you need to crack the question. First you need to understand the question really well. You need to focus upon what are the key areas of that question. So most of the times, and I can guarantee you that you will be able to find some specific keywords in the question which are the key unlocking that question. So in this question, there are two keywords: an Englishman's perspective and the Indian scenario. So you need to understand what is the whole idea behind these two keywords. If you crack these, you'll crack the question. Okay. So the first keyword is an Englishman's perspective, right? What is an Englishman's perspective? So the question is a passage to India in Englishman's perspective of the Indian scenario. So what do they mean by Englishman's perspective? What is an Englishman's perspective? Englishman's perspective doesn't mean how a typical Englishman thinks, or a general Britisher or a Westerner thinks. That is not the point here. So what they're actually trying to get to is they're trying to they're asking you to do a post-colonial reading of this text. They're trying to ask you how an Englishman or a colonizer thinks about the Indian scenario. I will talk about the Indian scenario later. So E.M. Forster, when they're talking about an Englishman's perspective, it could be E.M. Forster or a typical Western attitude. Is it a typical Western attitude to the Indian scenario? That's what probably they're trying to ask you. And is it a liberal Englishman's perspective, or is it a typical colonizer superiority complex perspective? Is it a myopic perspective of the Indian scenario? Some Englishman came to India and whatever he could figure out, he wrote about it. Is it limited? Is it myopic? Is it biased? Is it prejudiced? What kind of a perspective do you see here? This is where they're trying to ask you, and it's an open question. But you have to take a line, which we'll talk about in the later scenario. So once you understand what Englishman's perspective they're trying to get to, then you also think about the next key phrase, which is the Indian scenario. What Indian scenario? So now you understand the Englishman's perspective. Now perspective on what? The Indian scenario. Of Indian scenario, what is Indian scenario? Is it India in general, or India as a country, or is it like a Discovery Channel kind of, a study of India? He came to India in whatever. No, the Indian scenario here means the Indian scenario at the time this book was written. What was the Indian scenario at the time? This book came out in 1924, so written in 1920s. So you need to understand the socio-political, historical, cultural perspectives as well. What was happening in India? What was the Indian culture, Indian scenario? India was still a colony of the British Raj. That's the Indian scenario. So is this question about, is this a study of India as one of the colonies of the British Raj? As a colony. The Indian scenario is that's what they're trying to get to. That the Indian scenario is study of India as a colony. So that is again something that you need to focus upon. You need to figure out what your line of argument is. Now, talking about the line of argument, we discuss this next, the next slide. Now you understand what is the Englishman's scenario, what is the Englishman's perspective, what is the Indian scenario. Now when you start thinking about the answer, the very first thing you need to understand is what is going to be your argument. Will you say, yes, this is an Englishman's perspective of the Indian scenario because, or will you say, no, it's not an Englishman's perspective because? Now, a lot of students go with the affirmative approach on this, that yes, it is an Englishman's perspective. But again, then you need to understand what do you mean by Englishman's perspective. Okay, are you talking about Englishman as a colonizer, Englishman as a Westerner, Englishman as somebody who knows very little about India, somebody with myopic, limited understanding? What you need to be very clear about what you mean when you say it is an Englishman's perspective. And of course, you need to be very clear when you say the Indian scenario. What Indian scenario? Whatever argument you take, whatever position you take, you need to be very clear in the very first part of your answer, which is the intro part that I call. So you take a position and you explain right away why you're taking that position. And then you prove that position in the next part of your answer, which is the body part. Now, once you have your argument position clear, that's probably the most difficult part of your answer, because you need to really think long about it, and you really need to be very clear, very clear. If you're not clear, then I, as a reader of your answer or your examiner, won't be clear. So you need to be very clear what exactly your argument is. Now you know what your argument is. You need to give some textual evidences in support of your argument from the text, of course. So 300 words, I would say 3 to 4 arguments. 3 is fine, 4 is okay. If you're looking at 4 evidences, 4 proofs, then we're looking at 60 words into 4. That is 240, 250 words, and then you have 50 words left for your conclusion and intro. If you take 3, you can do 70, 75 words each. You need substantial 3 to 4 textual evidences to prove what you said in your intro argument. So if you say yes, it is an Englishman's uh, argument about the Indian scenario. So then in the next line you clear it. I won't feed words into your mouth. So you clear what do you mean by Englishman's scenario, and what do you mean by Indian scenario in Englishman's perspective, right? I will be happy to have a look at your answers. If you would like to attempt this question and send me your answers, write them, write in the comment section below that you're attempting this question, and I will have a look at it. Maybe I'll read your answers and make a video and dissect them and evaluate them online for you. Okay, so I hope this video helped you. I'll make more of these videos based on the result and the feedback I'll get from you guys. Feel free to write, ask questions in the comments, and don't forget to watch that Unacademy free session that's happening on 28th November. That's tomorrow on ethics. And don't forget to check out my courses on Unacademy if you're an Academy aspirant, given in the next slide. So yes, I have already a couple of courses running on Unacademy. I'm teaching paper 2 course, and then right after that I'll be teaching paper 1 course. So that's for 2021 and 2022 aspirants. So if you are an English literature aspirant, these my courses are pretty substantial. 2-hour classes. Every text is covered. Everything is covered. I think this is quite structured. It helped me as a teacher to teach you better. Prior to that, I was teaching on YouTube. I was giving private lessons, which was very unorganized and unstructured. So this way I could reach a lot more students. And my entire passion is to be able to help English literature aspirants with preparation. So do check them out. If you feel that this is a good fit for you, you can join them. Do reach out to me in the comment section for anything you need to ask. So have a good rest of the day, rest of the evening, wherever you are, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Best of luck, good luck with your studies, and stay blessed. This is Harshit Bharadwaj signing off. Bye bye.